presumably saving a seat for his best buddy. By Chip Somodevilla, Getty Images. When Donald Trump first hired Wilbur Ross as Commerce Secretary, he proudly told people the 80-year-old investment manager was a killer, reminiscing about Ross riding to his rescue several decades prior, when Trump failed to pay back the loans that financed his Atlantic City fiefdom. Ross, who was so excited about his new position of power that he commissioned a pair of $500 custom-made velvet slippers with the Commerce Department logo stitched on the toe, happily chatted to CNBC about his trips abroad with the president and his front-row seat to the after-dinner entertainment that was the bombing of Syria. Unfortunately for Ross, those heady early days quickly gave way to Trump treating him like a senile old man whose relatives suspect the nursing home aides of committing elder abuse. In January, reports surfaced that the president had taken to humiliating Ross in front of his colleagues, questioning the Commerce Secretary's intelligence and competence, and telling him such things as, "Your understanding of trade is terrible." At one point, Trump reportedly informed Ross he didn't trust him to negotiate anymore, telling others Wilbur has lost his step. Actually, he's probably lost a lot of steps. The situation presumably wasn't helped by Ross's alleged tendency to fall asleep in meetings, and to mop the resulting drool up with his tie. But where others might have assessed their diminishing status in the administration and decided it would be a good time to head for the exit, Wilbur apparently has another plan, to win Trump back. Politico reports that despite the president's penchant for lashing out at him during Oval Office meetings, embarrassing him in front of his colleagues, and initially leaving him out of a May trade delegation to China led by Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, Ross still thinks he can get back in Trump's good graces, a dream few people see coming true. While the former private equity mogul was likely heartened by being allowed to participate in China talks, a sign, one former administration official said, that the president likes Ross even if he does not consider him a killer. It's also a signal that they are not expecting a whole lot on the negotiations front. You would not send him if you were expecting real progress. Just weeks ago, the president announced that he was instructing the Commerce Department to figure out a way to save Chinese electronics makers ZTE, which just 1 month prior Ross's team had punished for violating U.S. sanctions, a turn of events that could charitably be viewed as the president undermining one of his own cabinet members. Nor does it help that Trump has already reportedly pegged Ross as a weakling, a designation that's difficult to shake in this White House. Ross hurt himself politically when he brought back to the president 2 potential deals with China last year. One would have cut China's production of steel, though some policy experts say China was already planning to so by closing some plants. The other deal would have allowed imported cooked chicken from China into the U.S. in exchange for opening up the Chinese market to U.S. beef. A meeting in the Oval Office, Ross tried to cast the beef deal as a big win, but the president viewed it as too small and a bad agreement, an original sin in this White House. He reamed out Ross in front of a small cadre of officials, according to the 3 people briefed on the exchange, and told Ross he wanted him out of the negotiations. Also not helping Ross's cause? That he seemingly has no idea what he's doing. Ross has also run into bureaucratic snaffus. Early commerce reports on the steel and aluminum tariffs were held up for weeks because they lacked legal analysis or input from national security experts or other agencies, such as the Department of Defense, according to one Republican close to the White House. A similar problem occurred during Trump's November trip to China, when Ross tried to unveil a number of deals between Chinese and American businesses, only to have the White House try to kill many of the deals at the last minute because the announcements had not been vetted with the Department of Justice or legal team. Yet for all of his issues, and his diminished status in Trump's eyes, few current and former administration officials believe Ross will be cut loose. For one thing, he and Trump move in the same social circles, and for a president who's no One priority is becoming and remaining a bigwig. That counts for more than one might think. For another, working for a lunatic who changes his mind by the hour means being treated like garbage one day and royalty the next. At particular points in time, the president will look to one of the principles more than the other. That changes day to day, and week to week, month to month, a former administration official told Politico. The campaign was the same way. That is how the president utilizes the best talent for the best time. And Wilbur, it seems, is holding out hope for a sea change.